Good morning. I'm not supposed to touch the microphone or I broke the rules. Those of you who know me know that that is not hard for me to do. I'm very good at breaking rules. I want to thank all the students, of course, and the administration and leadership here at William Jewell for inviting me back, which is surprising because I did give a speech at this day a few years ago, and I sang at that. Now, had I known there was going to be a Grammy Award winner here today, I would have changed what I was going to do. That was not revealed to me before. It has now been revealed. I'll try to minimize the damage. 1978, I sat right over there. I was in the back half of the audience. I would never have sat in the front row. It was orientation day. J. Gordon Kingsley. That was impressive to me because who gets to start their first name with an initial? You're a student from a new kid, right? You're at freshman orientation. I did it again. I'm in two-thirds of the way in the back of that auditorium, this auditorium, and today I still don't know if it's Gano or Gano. They pronounced it every which way. I think they still do. I don't know, but at any rate, I was in the chapel. I was about two-thirds back. I was on that side, and J. Gordon Kingsley stood up here and he said, Billy Jewell Bible School, we obey the golden rule. We don't drink and we don't smoke. We don't dance and we don't toke. 105 acres of Christian atmosphere. True story. He was the dean of the college. He was the dean. He stood up and he sang that song, and I thought, oh my God, I'm in the right place. I'm in the right place. He stood up and he made fun of this place. And I thought, wow, the dean of the college just made fun of the school. This is great. I'm a freshman. I was a nervous Nelly. Listen, I loved Star Trek. Spock was my hero. I was socially awkward. I didn't know what to do. And I was sitting back there. I was sweating a little bit. I wasn't really great socially. That's still true. And I sat back there and he sang that song. And I thought to myself, wow, what a great place. What a great place. So as we talk today, I'm going to give you a little bit of wisdom that I got from William Jewell and across the years. And the first bit of wisdom is where you start is not where you finish. Where you start's not where you finish. And where I started back in Jewell, I actually still step back there. Actually, that's not totally true. We had chapel then. You had to go like every day of the week. That was a little hard. I learned to be a hole puncher. I quickly realized if you punched the little check-in things that made you go to chapel, you punched the cards, you had control of the puncher. You could punch your card, you could leave, and you could go study, and you didn't have to go to chapel all the time. But I was shy and I was awkward. I didn't know where to go to school. And then suddenly, events defined themselves for me. My mom had lung cancer. She was dying. She would die at the end of my freshman years, right before finals. And I had to look around and figure out, where am I going to go to college? I don't want to leave my family. I don't want to leave my home. And I didn't know much about William Jewell. I came up and I went to the dean of orientation or to the dean of admissions, and I met people and I thought, this is a great place. This is a great place. And you know what made it great? It was my family. No, my family. This is family. This warm, intimate, liberal arts college environment became my family. And when you're young and you're injured, and I think every young teenager is injured, but when you're young and you're injured, you need a little family. You need a little love. You need a little intimacy. And needed a place that's going to encourage you to think, and maybe to think differently. I think I would have been lost in a really big school. I'm not sure that would have gone very well for me. But I quickly learned that I was in a place that was going to encourage me to think. And where you start is not where you finish. But when you're on the journey, walk with giants. That's wisdom number 2. When you're on the journey, walk with giants. You know, everybody needs a place. Everybody needs to have a place where they're granted an ability to think and to be safe and to have a family. But you know what? We live in a crossroads of time. I've been at KU for many years. I've seen it at its nadir. We're walking in, we're talking about what's made KU different. You know, when I was there in 1990, I went to KU in 1990, and in 1996, the average daily census at the University of Kansas Hospital was 136. And when I left today, there were 746 patients in beds. It's grown, it's expanded, it's done all this great stuff. And why is that? Why is that? Because where that place started is not where it finished, and we learn to walk with giants, and there are giants in this room. One of my giants is right back there, Ed Lane. I don't know if he remembers what a dork I was back then, but he taught P-Chem. How do you make P-Chem fun? He made physical chemistry fun. That is hard to do. That is hard to do. I work with Dr. Shannon. She started the foundations course. I got to be one of the course docents. I got to be in the speech and debate team. I went around and ran my mouth. I was much better at running my mouth than run with a football or throwing a pass or anything like that. Patrick Mahomes, I was not. I got to be in the concert band. I got to walk with giants on this campus, and they helped shape me into the person I became and where I went in life. And today, we are in a crossroads of time when suddenly it is okay to say dumb stuff. Right? You turn on the TV, people are saying dumb stuff. How did that happen? How did we go from telling the truth and thinking critically about an issue to just making it up? How do we go from being healers to sharpshooters? A healer tells the truth and tries to bring us together. A sharpshooter makes it up, just take a shot at you so that they can be right. How do we go from healers to sharpshooters? What happened to the critical thinking? What does it even mean? Critical thinking includes all sorts of thinking. It includes scientific thinking, mathematical thinking, historical thinking, anthropological thinking, economic thinking, moral thinking, philosophical thinking. I've got to take a breath and think. Religious thinking, romantic thinking, personal thinking. Critical thinking takes in everything. How do we get from being healers to sharpshooters? You know, when was the last time you went to the doctor and you just wanted to make it up? Right? You just wanted to make it up. I don't know what's wrong with you. I'm just going to make it up. I'm just going to tell you what you want to hear. It's great. You're fine. I'm not dying. When's the last time you wanted to go to the banker and have him just make it up to your boss and have him make it up? I'm going to pay you $1 billion. I just made it up. Be happy. I'm just going to make it up. How about your teachers? Hey, there's no test tomorrow. Surprise! Your spouse, your parents, your friends. You know what? It's not okay to tell lies. It's not okay. And if you're a critical thinker, you don't do it. You don't do it. And Jewell College is all about that. What do we need? Do we need healers or do we need sharpshooters? Do we need those that think critically or those that just say stuff and try to make others look small to make themselves look large? Matthew 22, verses 36 to 40. Teacher, what is the greatest commandment in the law? Jesus replied, love thy Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. Note, it does not say love yourself. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments. If we are not prepared to think for ourselves and to make the effort to learn how to do this well, we will always be in danger of becoming slaves to the ideas and values of others due to our own ignorance. William Hughes wrote the book on critical thinking. Increasingly, we become so secure in our own bubbles that we accept only the information, whether it is true or not, that fits our opinions instead of basing our opinions on the evidence that's out there. Barack Obama. When you're on your journey, walk with giants. Wisdom number 3, no matter where you go, there you are. Now what does that mean? Think about that. No matter where you go, there you are. It means you are the accumulation of your acts in life. And that where you are in the present is not by accident, because you took yourself there. And in life, I hate to tell you this, students, it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about what you do. Here in this moment, in this room, who are you? What defines you? And in this world, at this time, what is it that we need? We need to be critical thinkers, to be truth tellers, and that's hard. But these two things, being a critical thinker and a truth teller, they travel together. If we believe in critically thinking, trained in an intimate, safe, nurturing place where we remember to love our neighbors, not for what they have or for what they represent, but as we love ourselves, we will not be this polarized. How can we turn our conversations away from sharpshooters and into healing. We do it by thinking critically. We do it by being honest. When I started medical school 32 years ago, I met a wonderful person who would later become my wife. She's African American. My father looked at this budding relationship and said, "Son, you can't marry her, she's going to hold you back." Now, you don't know my wife, but she's the smartest person in any room. And I think maybe I held her back. I don't think it was the other way around. How do we think critically? How do we take that journey? How do we take the risks to stand above where we are? When I was a resident, I was at Genesee Hospital. I was in the ICU. I was at the University of Rochester, New York. It was July 1987. And a young man had come into the hospital. He was black. He was 19 years old. He had fluid around his heart. It's called a pericardial effusion. If you get too much of it, it squashes your heart. You can't breathe, you can't think, and you die. People said, well, he's an IV drug abuser. So therefore, this is just going to be bad, it's going to happen. We had to bring him down to the ICU. We started trying to put him on life support. Tried this brand new medicine that some pharmacy just said, and they said, use 5 milligrams. It helps put people to sleep. It's a great drug. It's going to relax you. You can go on life support, they won't even know it. We tried it, 5 milligrams, he quit breathing, he almost died. We had to open up his chest, drain his heart, do all sorts of stuff that day. 14 hours later, 19-year-old man, prime of life, he died. He was gone. He had never used drugs. 6 days before, he had been to the dentist and had dental work done. Dental work is a known risk factors for exactly what happened. People looked at him and they didn't see the truth. They saw what a sharpshooter had told them to believe. So what do we tell the family? Do we make it up? Do we tell them fake news? Or we tell them we goofed, we did bad? That's what we did. We told them the truth. There are 5 rules in medicine. I was an ICU doctor on that day and evermore because I knew you had to be at the best when your patients were at their worst. And over the years and working in the ICU at KU and many places, I learned there are 5 rules we have to use. Number 1, save the patient. Number 2, do the right thing. Number 3, be the bridge. Number 4, ask questions, seek answers. Number 5, those who laugh last. Seniors, you got a test on that in just a moment. No, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. Save the patient. Really, that should be save the world, right? Because you see, when we work together, we can do just about anything. And we have to put the patient's best interest or the world's best interest in our hearts. Number 2, do the right thing. We treat each other with grace, humility, and respect. If we do that, we can solve everything. Number 3, ask questions, seek answers. Right? That's what critical thinkers do. That's what we do. Number 4, be the bridge. Because when you reach out to others, using those other rules, you get the job done. And we can make this a better place. And finally, those who laugh last. I tell students that all the time. They can go interview to see wherever they're going to go. And I say to them, if laughter is not one of the sounds you hear, you should be very afraid. And I don't mean that dark laughter. I mean that laughter of joy, that laughter of love, that laughter that says, this is a safe and good place. It's a place where you can grow. Life can be cruel, hard, unrelenting, unfair, sometimes unkind. Sometimes we don't get our best choices. Cystic fibrosis. I take care of patients with cystic fibrosis. They're born with the disease. When I started in CF, the average life expectancy was about 10 or 12 years old. Today it's 40. Within the next few weeks to months, research is going to have delivered an answer, and CF will become a chronic disease. That's where we are. And how do we get there? We got there because critical thinkers said, we can do this. We can beat this. And then people of caring and hope, they came together, they raised money, they built research, and then we're going to cure a disease. That doesn't happen by sharpshooters. How would it have been if people just made up their research in CF and just thought they just want to, hey, I got a great drug, it's going to work. No, it's not. I got a great drug, it's going to work. But that happens. That does happen. 3 3 days ago, I was doing a lung transplant panel in front of 225 first-year medical students, and one of the patients who we brought in, there were 4 of them, they'd all had lung transplants. One had developed a disease called pulmonary hypertension, where the blood pressure in your lungs goes up really high. And why had she had that disease? Because she took a drug called fen-phen to help her lose weight, and she took it for about 6 to 8 weeks. A few months later, she started getting short of breath. Well, you know what? Fen-phen caused people to die. Caused heart defects, caused valve heart problems, it caused problems in the lungs. And the company that made the drug knew it when they sold it. What kind of soul do you have if you sell a drug in the name of money that you know when you do it is going to kill them? Are you a healer or are you a sharpshooter? These are the choices that we have. But you know what you really give people when you try to help bring them together, when you follow the rules, when you do these things, is you give them hope. Hope is a powerful drug. The transplant panel stood in front of those students, actually sat down, they were talking in front of them, there's 4 of them, I said, and they were talking to the students, and they said, you know, all this medical therapy is great, all these things people do for us is great, but the one most important thing you can do, tell us the truth, but give us hope, so that we can keep trying to move forward. Healers give hope. Wisdom number 5. Truth is not a careless destination. How do you get to where you're going to go? Einstein said, whoever is careless with the truth in small matter cannot be trusted with important matters. In my life, I have had the absolute privilege to work at the best place on earth at the University of Kansas Medical Center and the University of Kansas Hospital. For 29 years, I have parked in the same garage, I've walked the same hallway to get into those buildings, and I've been offered the chance to try and help heal. I have been blessed by love and family, and it started right here in this place. I was a nervous Nellie. Back there by that column. I probably sat behind the column so nobody would see me. It started in this college. This is a special place, and you probably don't know how special it is. And students, you will not realize how special it is until after you've gone. And you will look back and you will see that it was your family and that people loved you and cared about you. They got to work right on with the professors. You had an amazing faculty, amazing team. This is an amazing place. A scared young man sat right back there and heard that dean that sang a song slightly out of date. We're no longer a Baptist school. I get that. That's great. And maybe we have to change the words just a little bit to make it work. But the message, whether secular or religious, is still the same. Micah 6:8. He has shown you, O mortal, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you but to act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. The echoes of giants and students and the Spirit are all here. Where you start is not where you finish. When on the journey, walk with giants. No matter where you go, there you are. Healers heal. Truth is not a careless destination. I still feel it here at William Jewell. It's still there, all those voices, all those giants. And someplace you can hear them singing. Billy Jewell, the thinking school, we still obey the golden rule. We may drink now, but we don't smoke. I'm a lung doctor, people. We don't smoke. We love dance, but what's a toke? For you young people, that means you're smoking marijuana, okay? Just in moderation. Be careful with that. It'll get legal soon enough. 105 acres of brilliant atmosphere. Thank you all very much. God bless you.